this new Skeleton Crew trailer just revealed this direct connection to the legendary pirate Hondo Ohnaka.
Thank you!
From his ship making an appearance in the background of this scene, to this treasure possibly being his at the end of the trailer, could Hondo Ohnaka really be coming to live action in this Skeleton Crew show?
Yes! Yeah!
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Well, first, let's start with who the is Hondo Ohnaka, and why would he be in the Skeleton Crew? Well, Hondo was first introduced in the Clone Wars Season 1, Episode 11. He was the leader of this pirate crew that captured Count Dooku. Hondo went on to be in about 9 episodes of the Clone Wars. He called himself a friend of the Jedi, helping the Republic every once in a while when it seemed to benefit himself. But Hondo goes on a very interesting arc over his appearances in Star Wars. He starts off as the leader of these pirates in the Clone Wars. He's definitely not to be trusted and can stab you in the back at any moment, but he quickly becomes the face of pirates in Star Wars. When a Star Wars fan thinks of a pirate, they think of Hondo Ohnaka, and by the time of his next appearance over 10 years later in Star Wars Rebels, he has lost his entire pirate crew, and you still can't really trust the guy. But he kinda joins the rebellion. At least he helps out the Ghost crew, which is made up of Harrison Dula, Sabine Wren, Kanan Jarrus, Ezra Bridger, and Zeb Orrelios. Okay, and Chopper! But Hondo does help out the rebels a little bit. So he goes from being a very untrustworthy guy who's going to stab you in the back to helping out the rebellion. And eventually, he actually helps out the resistance by the time of the sequel trilogy too. Now this Skeleton Crew show, which premieres on December 3rd with a 2-episode premiere, takes place in the Mandoverse time period, about 10 years after we last saw Hondo Ohnaka in Star Wars Rebels, after the events of the original trilogy, but still 25 years before the sequels. But there is one other place that Hondo has appeared that's not even in any sort of Star Wars live action or animated project. And technically, this other place is a live action version of Hondo Ohnaka. Now you're probably saying, Mike, what the are you talking about? How can he be making his first ever live action appearance in Skeleton Crew if he's already in live action? Well, it's a little complicated, okay? Because you can see Hondo Ohnaka in live action at Disneyland and Disney World at Galaxy's Edge. At the Star Wars themed portion of the Disney parks, Galaxy's Edge, you can go on a ride titled Smuggler's Run. This is where you go into the iconic ship the Millennium Falcon and you become a smuggler and steal some cargo. But at this ride at Disney, the man who's teaching you how to become a smuggler is Hondo Ohnaka, a live action variation of this character. Now, this ride in the Star Wars universe is supposed to take place during the sequel trilogy, which means we know for a fact that Hondo Ohnaka is alive during the events of this Skeleton Crew show, as Skeleton Crew takes place 25 years before the sequel trilogy. Okay, that's cool. Hondo is in Clone Wars, Hondo is in Rebels, he's in live action in the real world at Galaxy's Edge, but what does that have to do with him appearing in Skeleton Crew? Well, in this trailer that was just released for Skeleton Crew a few days ago, Star Wars fans noticed this. This ship that is flying into what seems to be a space station where our 4 main kid characters are going to run into some trouble, but this ship, although it doesn't seem very important, is a direct connection to Hondo Ohnaka, as it is Hondo's ship that you see at Galaxy's Edge during the Smuggler Run ride. Because although you may be the pilot of the Millennium Falcon, Hondo is in his own ship, and that ship is clearly seen in the Skeleton Crew trailer. I mean, it's obvious. It's the same shape, it's got the same front, it's got the same wings, it's got the same red lines, it's the same ship! Okay, so Hondo's ship is in the trailer. Fine. Let's say that's not enough evidence for you. Well, like I mentioned earlier, when fans think of pirates in Star Wars, they think of Hondo Ohnaka. And this Skeleton Crew show is going to be so heavily focused on pirates, as it's already been revealed that Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel, will be playing this pirate that we see in the trailer as well. And so far, we only know of one character that is confirmed to be in Skeleton Crew that was in any other Star Wars project, and that is the pirate Vane from The Mandalorian Season 3. Also, the emphasis on pirates is so great in this show that for the poster of the series, one of the main pirates named Brutus, this werewolf-looking guy, is on the poster. And if that's not enough, John Watts and Christopher Ford, the 2 co-creators of this show, have talked in extreme detail about how much of a pirate show this truly is. So how are you going to have a pirate show and not have the pirate in Star Wars, Hondo Ohnaka, especially when it's confirmed that he is alive during this time period and we literally see his ship in the trailer. And let's be honest, this was put there for a reason. This one scene with Hondo's ship in it is about a second long.
Stay together.
It's almost as if they're trying to hide it in plain sight. But even if all that is not enough, there is still more evidence. At the end of this new trailer for Skeleton Crew, we see this hidden treasure. Now, not much is known about this room or what's going on here. We see a lot of gold and a lot of cool shiny artifacts. But in the middle, you see this massive skull. And that skull is one of the Weequay. And Weequay is just a species of Hondo Ohnaka. Now, I'm not saying that Hondo Ohnaka owns this treasure, because I'm sure he wouldn't be doing smuggler runs by the time of the sequel trilogy, but at some point he might have. You gotta ask the question, where was Hondo during the original trilogy? Characters like Ahsoka Tano, Cal Kestis, Grogu, where they were during the original trilogy is extremely important. Why did they not play a role in what happened with the Empire, Vader, Luke, Leia, and Han? Now, although Hondo would not be one to go help the rebellion to fight against the Empire, there still needs to be an explanation as to where he was during the original trilogy. Well, what if he was looking for this treasure, and he found it, making himself a nice throne in a skull that looked like his own? Well, let's just say every other pirate in the galaxy would be trying to steal it, including possibly Jod Nawood, the character that Jude Law will be playing in this Skeleton Crew series. We are led to believe from the first trailer that he's a Jedi because we see him wield the Force, but he doesn't have a lightsaber, and he's hanging around with a lot of pirates. It's possible that that character is not as trustworthy as we might think, but I guess that's another topic for another time. Either way, this trailer makes it seem like our four main characters and Jude Law's character are trying to find this treasure. They don't just happen upon it, and if Hondo Ohnaka is truly connected to this treasure, there is no doubt that he will be in this show. Now, Hondo is not the only character that could appear in Skeleton Crew. There's some crazier ones like a possible Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Mando, Grogu. But there's another character connected to the pirates that is very similar to a Hondo Ohnaka type. And that is a lady who was first introduced in The Force Awakens named Maz Kanata, her nickname being Queen of the Pirates. It's possible that Hondo and Maz could have some sort of relationship before the sequel trilogy that could be shown in the Skeleton Crew show that would intertwine characters from the prequel trilogy, from the Clone Wars animated series, and the sequel trilogy, which takes place over 40 years later. So with all that being said, very little is still known about the plot of the Skeleton Crew show. This new trailer gave us a lot more information, but still the majority of it is a mystery. But I can say with the most certainty I've had in a long time, I believe that Hondo Ohnaka will make his first ever live action appearance on screen, because of course he is at Galaxy's Edge right now. He will make his first ever live action appearance on screen in the Skeleton Crew show. But tell me what you think in the comment section below. Is his ship being in the trailer not good enough? Is the Weequay skull at the end of the trailer not good enough? Is the fact that this show is going to be all about pirates not good enough? Tell me what you think in the comment section below. And speaking of this brand new trailer for Skeleton Crew, there's a lot more that you might have missed, but I break it all down in this video right here.